not really the debrief, but still, it's kind of like 2/3 of the debrief. I didn't want to pester Oscar at this moment in time.
We're debriefing about something.
Yeah, exactly. Should probably put a banner up, shouldn't I? Leeds sign Piroe.
Leeds make a signing.
Sign Piroe.
No, go on. Do your American accent again. That was a delight to hear. I don't know why
I did American there. What, just then?
No. When you did one on the WhatsApp group, it was so authentic. I want you to do it for the subscribers now.
If I'm to talk like this, what sort of American accent is this? What do you think it is? Do you reckon it's a bit of a Southern Belle accent? What do you think?
Well, unless there's something you're not telling us, you could never do a Southern Belle. On top of that, no, it's not an American accent.
You mildly offended my terrible American accent. Here's one. I reckon I could do your accent better than you could do my accent.
That's probably true. Go for it. Try to do my accent.
Try to do my accent.
Why do I sound like I'm from Texas?
Why do I sound like I'm fucking from Texas? Maybe you are, Gabe. Maybe this is me not telling this. Anyway, what's going on? It's happening again.
We're live just chatting about this right now.
Daniel's in the building. What a signing. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate your donation. Leeds, of course, have signed Yoel Piroe. 12 million plus add-ons. It looks like he's going to be wearing the number 7 shirt for Leeds United. Leeds have made their... Is that 5th, Gabe? Or is it the 4th signing? I think it's 5th. Is it 5th?
Yep.
5th summer signing. Yoel Piroe. Gabe, what have you got to say? Got anything to say on that?
I mean, he's got big shoes to fill, stepping into the number 7 shirt that the Brendan Aronson wore with such great aplomb last season is going to be a very, very hard job to do this year. And let's see if he's up to it. No, listen, this is a signing that I actually didn't think that we would make. I thought that we would end up with some good players. We were talking about O'Brien, Kamara, hoping to keep Sinistera. There's been some chat as well about a certain attacking midfielder that I almost don't want to continue to talk about because I don't want to jinx it. Being a Leeds United fan has caused me to become superstitious, which is weird for me. But listen, do you think we would get Yoel Piroe?
Mate, I literally did a video yesterday saying this is the reason we won't sign this player.
Well, the title was a little bit more definitive than that. It was like, this guy's not coming to Leeds or something. I was sort of like, I'm sort of looking forward if we do get Piroe just to see all the hate you're gonna get.
Oh yeah, it's gonna come. People. It's gonna come. Head over to One Leeds FC to see all those hate comments. But yeah, I genuinely didn't. I think we were sort of like in unison, in my opinion, behind the scenes. On maybe not yourself, but maybe like a couple of people I was talking to, in the fan sphere on Yoel Piroe, and I just didn't think. I thought it was almost like falling in line for Southampton to go and get him, and I think I was mildly scarred still by Max.
Well, there was one big thing that you thought was going to happen. A lot of us thought was going to happen. Is that Everton was going to come in and buy Shea Adams, right? Yeah. And if he had done that, you would imagine that they would take that money and reinvest at least what was it around? It's supposed to be around a £30 million fee, which is wild for Shea Adams, by the way. But but that was the number being thrown around. A big development in the last 24 to 48 hours was the American investors that were thinking about buying a stake in Everton did not, right? So I don't know how much of an impact that would have had, but it seemed like any bid that they were going to make was off the table, and that kind of has a trickle-down effect. What I'm hoping for is that we have our own little trickle-down effect, because as you know, we're linked to some other players. Just in the last couple of days, the portrait looking in from the outside is different now, because just a number of days ago, this was a side in disarray, right? Who hadn't made a lot of signings, who had just gone down, who were incredibly weak in some positions. And you thought, Sinistera probably wouldn't play for the club again. Nanto probably wouldn't play for the club again. Now you have a situation where there's a high probability those guys stay, and now you just signed the best striker in the championship.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think it's going to be fascinating to see how he fits. I'll let you embellish on that instead of me at some point.
Well, you're not qualified to talk about how he
no,
fits.
Not anymore.
I did kind of sound Texas there, by the way.
Yeah. But yeah, I have jinxed it, everybody. I will admit to it. I did not think this would happen. I just I literally thought Southampton were going to get him all. I mean, Leicester, I think Leicester were pulled out pretty early, but Atalanta were in for him as well. I thought he was going to go to the wire, and then when you see it this morning, Southampton are about to launch a bid. You think, here we go again.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just get into a couple of comments. Kieran says, thanks for the donation, mate. Finally, customers in the store can stop asking me when we're going to sign someone like I know myself. Gabe uses 5.
You know what? Fine. I haven't put any product in here today, so it's been messy.
Kieran. There's a reason the hat's on.
We'll take the hat off.
I'll put it back on, mate.
I can't now. This is who we are now.
The thing is with hats,
I'm just going to step into it.
I think hats actually make good hair. You know, people say hat hair and they think it's crap. I think hats actually do good things to hair. I think it's decent look.
You would think that.
Connor, can you do a video saying that we won't sign Amiri I'm just desperate. Yes, mate. That'll be on the channel.
Didn't this happen to you last season though with your score predictions as well? It was every time you predicted that we were gonna get walloped.
That was. I thought that was embellished a little bit, but yeah. Okay. Listen. I'll take it on the chin. But yeah, I think as I say, he's going to be playing. Obviously, it's quite nice to actually see us replace Patrick Bamford for the first time in 7 years. That's quite nice. I'm enjoying that. And yeah, it is a bit of a statement sign. You look at the relationship that maybe Somerville, Sinisterra, Nonto, Amiri, if this does happen, and Piroe are going to have, and you just think, I know it sounds daft, but I mean, with the squad as threadbare as it is, imagine at the weekend if you saw a scenario where it was like Nonto, Sinisterra and Piroe up front for like 30 minutes, you're thinking to yourself, right, okay, that would be a little bit of a problem.
And potentially like a Paintsil nipping at their heels. I mean, I talked to somebody about this today on Twitter. It was actually good discourse, which is rare for the app that's now called X. But they were saying, well, you know, if we can't sign him because we'd have to get rid of people. Like competitive sides in any division have players that are always trying to get in the team, right? And there's no guarantee that you sign a guy like Paintsil. Well, he'll come here wanting to play, obviously, but there's no guarantee. Like you don't tell any player at this level, hey, you're automatically in the 11, you know? So I would prefer we're a little bit rich at certain positions, especially given the fragility of some of our players over a period of time. So I think, you know, I can't say enough about the signing. I mean, it's tremendous. Statement of intent.
Yeah, you've been very keen on that one, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just Akpom's out of the championship, right? So it was him and Piroe last season in terms of scoring, and I mean, the kid from Coventry who left, right? Yukores. It's a tremendous signing. It's a 4-year contract, which is very, very good. This is a player that could make the jump up to the Premier League as well. A lot of Premier League clubs were looking at him. Has the skill set. Again, there are some questions in terms of his ideal suitability for the way Farke plays. I mean, that's my opinion. That being said, like I think that good managers and good players are adaptable, right? They're not, and Farke is not a systems ideologue. Right? Like he's not a Jesse Marsh who's going to, I said it again, but you know what I mean? He's not going to live and die by one way of playing. He has been adaptable throughout his period, you know, it provided he has the tools to be so. I think part of his mistakes at Norwich were that he was a little bit tactically rigid, but he also didn't have the tools to be tactically flexible. So I think that, you know, this is a tremendous signing.
Yeah, I think that's the separate thing, isn't it? I mean, me and you have spoken off air multiple times about how he fits, and it's going to be interesting to see how he fits because of how, you know, what he is as a striker. He's not your atypical Timo Pukki, who is literally an off the shoulder, you know, permanently offside striker who was phenomenal in the championship. He's very different to that, so it's going to be really interesting to see how Farke fits him in, really. And I guess the rigidity with it, Gabe, is the 4-2-3-1, which we know he will stick to, Daniel Farke. So,
but he's so much more flexible as a player, though, Connor. I mean, than like let's compare him to Patrick Bamford.
I guess it's Patrick the width that he's played out wide as well,
right?
Yeah.
And I mean, so when you look at Willie in the false 9 position, what are the like? Yeah, you lose a lot in terms of not that Willie's a bad finisher, but he's a winger. He's not a forward, right? But the interchanging, the movement, the touch on the ball, the quality of pass. Like These are things that
Gabe, it's even when you just look at you made a really good point earlier. Sorry, I'll let you make your point. I'm just going to add to what you were saying earlier, and I think you made a solid point. Like me and you were talking about where he's going to fit, how he's going to fit, and ultimately, you sort of hit the bottom line. And I know a lot of subscribers will be saying the same thing. It's like Connor, he scores goals, and that's it. Really, he scores goals, and it's like, if you're looking at top 5 strikers in the Championship last season, Yoel Piroe would have been in there. And I remember doing my signings, ideal transfer signings at the start of the window. There was Chuba Akpom in there. There was Cameron Archer. There was Carlos Borges at City, who was very unproven. But it was...
You said, and I quote, we need to bully the division and get the best striker in the division.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that, whether the system's fit or not. And 100%. And look, as a manager, you don't want to overthink things and say, okay, like, ideologues do that. They'll be like, they will forego a better player in order for someone that's a better systems fit. Look, systems coaches are only successful at the highest level. Like if you have a Pep Guardiola, who you'll know him much more than I will, he can buy any player he wants to fit his system in the world, and they'll come to Man City, right? So it's a little bit different. You can't be completely glued to one mode of playing and one profile of player. When I look at Piroe, like, yeah, ideally there are other profiles that would be best for a Farkas system, but he gives you so much more than, like, he could play a number of different systems. I agree he'd be best in a different framework, but it doesn't mean he won't be a very, very, very good 9 for us in this system. I think he will be. Yeah,
100%.
Especially if he's playing with Luis Sinisterra, Somerville, Nanto, or Paintsil.
Well, and he'll have been, I think, we've spoken about it as well. It'll have been promised that, right? He's going to be. He's not going to come to Leeds. If he's not, that's what we were speaking about the other day. It's, if you're coming to Leeds United, what can we offer you that's going to be a differential in comparison to, per se, a Southampton? It's going to be the fact that you're the number 9 striker. You haven't got Adam Armstrong, Sekou Mara, Shea Adams in front of you. You have literally got a very unreliable Patrick Bamford, who is probably going toward the back end of his career now, and you're going to be the starting number 9. But as well, if Leeds' selling pitch was, you've got Willie Nyonso, you've got Luis Sinisterra, you've got Crysencio Somerville, which, by the way, there is now a likelihood we keep all 3 at the end of the window, which is, I wouldn't have even said
not in anyone's bingo card. No.
And it's like, if you've got those interchanging, and then on top of that, you can throw in some of our other offensive players, that's probably a very, very attractive proposition for someone like him. And, when you, I know it sounds daft, but you've got that staple, haven't you, of a £35 million player in the Championship in Jorginho Rutter as well, which people might say, Connor, that doesn't, that wouldn't go a long way, but it really would go a long way, because it was a statement at the time. It's not really come through, but that can be part of your marketing strategy to someone like Yoel Piroe.
Right. 100%. And I mean, for me, when I'm looking ahead to this season, the first couple matches of the season so far, right?
Yeah.
Been hard to watch, but we haven't been disastrous, have we?
No.
We may see lineups like that in the cup. It's going to be great experience for some of these players. We may see lineups like players like Joffe come in if there's a fitness issue. Brenda, I know what you're doing on the wind up.
Brenda's on fire recently. By the way. Anyway,
Brenda is. If there are fitness issues, these guys will see time.
Yeah.
You want quality stacked in these positions. I would love to see Jorginho as a second or third option off the bench. Yeah. That'd be great. That's a great betting in period for a player that's young. We don't have to send these players out on loan. Like, it's nice to carry 3 fit strikers.
Yeah.
And to be able to give something different depending on who we're playing, or be able to, if we're down a goal, be able to come in and maybe send 2 strikers in. Imagine having Patrick Bamford as your second option and you don't have to play him. That means if there's some fitness issues for a match or 2, he comes in and does a job. I'm fine with that. I don't want us to rely on him as our starting striker.
That's a third left-footed striker as well, isn't it? I've just thought you got Piroe in there. You've obviously got Bamford, and you've got Rutter, striker. But yeah, let's get into a couple of comments. Barn, it's so funny how the mood changes, isn't it? And it's the same with me. The mood does change, and that's what we were saying throughout. If you're able to just make a few signings, if you're able to bring the crowd back up and and you're able to influence proceedings in that way, it's going to be massive for the club. A better transfer window in the EFL than last year with Orta. Yeah, Piroe. Michael says, does that make it easier to get others in? I think me and Gabe were just speaking about it there.
Yeah,
Michael. I think
great comment.
I think what we've just said, top 5 strikers in the division last season, and it's, as I always said at the start of the window, it is a bully boy tactic, again, because you've gone for one of the top strikers in the division from last year. Gabe was going on about this in the half season, but it was all about how, he's done it before. There's experience in the Championship. We're not going and getting an unknown. This guy is tried, proven.
Year after year, he does it too. Like, it's not just he had one season like Akpom, which, like, good for Akpom, but he's only had one really good season scoring goals.
Yeah,
Piroe does it year after year after year, and it's impressive. And now he's coming to Leeds, and he's going to play around some of the most dynamic wingers in the division, and then with a really rock solid central midfielder as well, an up and coming talent in Archie Gray, who is going to be very impactful. And honestly, a center half tandem that isn't going to leak goals like the one last year. I think Joe Rodon may end up being the signing of the season for us in a particular way, because I think we were weakest at the center half position, as weak as other positions were. We look like right now with Piroe and with the signings we've made, we could contend for a playoff spot. I think if we could make a couple more signings, we could contend for top 2.
Yeah, you've got to thicken that squad up 100%. And there's still, we've all got to bear in mind, there are still places in that side that need boosted. We're speaking earlier on about if Sam Byram gets injured, then what for the left-hand side? In that central midfield space, if Archie Gray gets injured, what do we then do? There's a few problems that still need addressing, but you're hoping that the club are going to be able to do that. And this is a good sign of intent. And not only that, Michael, but getting others in, but keeping certain personnel as well. Because you'll see someone like Sinistera, you'll see someone like Sinistera, I should say, someone like Somerville will look at this and think, "Oh, they mean business. They mean business." So that's obviously a massive beneficiary as well. Gussie Think Nottle says, "Nice one, lads. Big question. And sorry to go off subject, but a lot is happening. Will you boo or cheer Willie on Saturday?" I think I sort of stand by what Farker said, really, in terms of, and I thought he was really articulate on it today.
Great press conference.
Yeah, probably one of the best I've seen, actually, from a Leeds manager. He was very, very good today, faced with a lot of tough questions, but his response and just saying, look, he doesn't get a third chance. This is his second chance. And you feel that Farker definitely is a man who sticks to his word. And listen, I think the reason he's got a second chance is because he's 19 years of age. If he was an experienced pro, he wouldn't have even got a second chance under Farker. So, I wouldn't be. I think we're speaking about on the debrief as well. I'm not sure I think I'd struggle to boo him, but I'd have also struggled to welcome him back. And I think that's the conundrum, really, that Leeds fans are going to be in at the weekend. But
if I was at the ground, I would boo him for one match. Like if I was going away to Ipswich, or even if it was at Ellen Road for just first match back and he's playing in the team, I would let him know that this wasn't okay.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't continue it all season.
Yeah,
and Farkas said it best. You talked about Farkas' press conference. It was a great one. He said, like, they are you concerned? He was like, no. He's essentially said in his very kind of I don't know how to describe how Farka talks, but in his very Farka way, he essentially said, like, this guy lives a privileged life. He's a millionaire. This comes with the territory. Like, if you're going to do things like this, even as a young guy, like, the fans are going to let you know you're going to have to work hard to win them back. So I don't necessarily think that, like, you should not boo him. Just maybe someone in the comment just said I would boo Ailing, and that's about it. I just happened to catch it just then.
I politely disagree, Gabe. I don't know if I could boo I don't know, someone with a Leeds shirt on. I think I can.
I'm also 38. I probably wouldn't boo a 19-year-old anyway, because big tough guy booing from.
I think I'd viscerally get frustrated with them and probably kick my chair. But I don't know if I'd ever boo. I don't think I'd boo a Leeds.
You'd spend your time like you always do during a match, with your head in your hands, staring at the floor, whether we're up or down or tied,
kicking, punching, everything. Paul Gray says, love the content. Good luck, yo, Piroe. Let's go, Leeds. Thanks for your donations, everyone. Really appreciate it. Andrew Tallis, let's go, Leeds. Kieran's a smaller announcement could mean more to come soon. I think so, and that's what we've just been speaking about. I think we've got to be looking at a scenario now where Leeds are bringing in players, and they've got to bring in players. I mean, this Amiri, Amiri, I should say, as I'm not going to profess to know a lot about him, but from what you've seen and what you've read about him, I was reading a scouting report earlier, and it seems very, very exciting. So, if we're able to get that one done, I said at the start, we said on the debrief on Monday, we were talking about it, and I was saying to you guys, a 9 and a 10 is imperative before Ipswich, and is he going to speak? Is he going to play? I should say. Sorry, I just saw some of the comments saying. Sorry, I just saw this from Philip Anderson. I started questioning myself. Is Connor going to speak in a Daniel Farke impression? We'll wait for a little bit, maybe potentially.
Interesting spelling.
But yeah, is he going to play? That's the question. And yeah, Yol Pro potentially now could be registered before that game, which is exciting stuff. But a 9 and 10 were absolutely imperative this week, weren't they, Gabe?
Yeah, I mean, weirdly, the 49ers have done exactly what they said they were going to do. Farke said this from the beginning of the window. He said it's going to be tough for a little while because we don't really know who's staying, who's going, and it's very hard to get a sense of what you need in your squad and stuff. I know it makes it not easy for us, especially as content creators, where we're making daily or semi-daily. Well, you're making semi-daily. I pop up here once or twice a week, and that's it for me. But I know it's tough but they essentially said we're going to be aggressive. And you have to think when you look at center half signing, best striker in the division, Ethan Ampadu, that's 3 sections of the pitch. Oh, and a goalkeeper, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's all sections of the pitch reinforced in a way stronger than we had before. Even with the players we had that didn't leave, I would say that Rodon's stronger than any of the center halves that are left. I would say Ampadu's equal, if not stronger, to any of the midfielders we had, and I'd say that Piroe is better than any of the strikers we have. So, I'm a little bit lost for words on it, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't think we would get this guy for some reason. I thought we needed to, but because he's the best striker in the division, I thought a Premier League club was going to just come pick him up for depth or.
Did you see the Bournemouth thing? There was a thing that went round, and I got tagged in it about 900 times.
Well, they're coming in to swoop in.
It's like it was something like Bournemouth are looking for a winger and a striker. I was like, no.
By the way, what's with Everton and our players? They're getting linked to every This is the club that's probably going to go down this season, and they think the solution to their problems is to poach people from a club that also just went down. It's very bizarre.
Oh, we're talking Everton.
Yeah. Well, what's with them being linked with every player we have?
They're just in trouble, aren't they? They're in massive trouble, and I feel like the recruitment team's a bit. And maybe it's Orta. Maybe Orta's there behind the scenes, just trying to sign.
And maybe he is. Somebody in the comments earlier said that Jesse Marsh being linked to the Everton job, which I don't think is true, but it'd be really funny.
Yeah, Tom says great spine of the team. Now, I think when you look at it, and Ethan from Online, an account online on Twitter would put something up earlier on, Gabe, and it was Ampadu. It might have been an FA Cup game, and he was 17, and he was playing against Everton, and he was just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And you look at that signing, which I think is just a top signing. You look at Joe Rodon, if he can stay fit. If you're going to put Carl Darlow in there, then fair enough. Championship level, it's decent. Either him or Melly. I mean, I'd personally go Darlow. I've said that all along. But then you're looking up front, and you've got Yoel Piroe. That is a strong. The only thing is, Gabe, is maybe that central attacking midfielder, because in a Daniel Farke system, he's going to play someone in that 10. And I guess that 10 would quantify as the spine of the team. So I think we need to invest in that, obviously.
Well, it looks like we're investing. If the rumors can be believed.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched a lot of Hoffenheim.
Whoa. Everyone's saying Phil, hey. Oh, come on. Give us some news.
Has Amiri agreed? Because I'm about to talk about him.
Come on.
You're kidding me.
Oh, match if it was another one. Amiri's still in Germany tonight, but Leeds have agreed a 5 million fee with Bayer Leverkusen. Work to do and never count chickens. Phil knows, doesn't he? He's like never ever do that.
5 million for this player.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's thievery. That's absolute thievery. We're getting him a division down. If we had gotten him instead of some of the players we got last season.
We got Here We Go. I thought we had have we got Here We Go? Oh, it's just Phil. I thought we had a Here We Go from Fab. Everyone's saying in the chat, here we go.
Why would people do that to us? Listen, no, I watched Amiri at Hoffenheim. I didn't see him on loan in Italy, and then I watched him at Leverkusen as well. This guy's good.
Really,
he's really good. There's been some criticism about him because his performance has dropped off from Nagelsmann a little bit. Nagelsmann's one of the top 10% managers in the world. So yeah, fair enough. That's going to happen a little bit. But here's what I like most about him. He's not just a good progressive passer, and he is. He's very good, but he'll be our best progressive passer far and away. He carries the ball. Progressive carries. He likes to take players on too. He's dynamic. He's tricky. I mean, when I say he'll probably be the best passer of the ball we have and one of the best ball carriers.
That's got me hard.
You've been watching Lord Ash tweet too much. No, listen, I can't say enough about him. I think he's absolutely immense. You never know how a league change is going to affect a player, but for 5 million quid, that's the fee. 5 million quid, like 1/5 of what we paid for Brendan Aronson. Like, are you kidding me?
You have to bring him into everything.
Yeah, I've mentioned twice this video.
It says, would you rather have had Ampadu or Rock this year, Connor? Different players, but okay.
No. You have to answer the question.
Don't let me go down that rabbit hole. This is a happy stream. Just remember, Rocker is on loan. He can come back next year. I still think a left back is imperative. Wouldn't mind Taylor. I don't know. Amiri, deal agreed. Come on. Yeah.
If Amiri comes here, I'm telling you, listen, if Amiri comes to Leeds United, we have the best attacking group in the division. And it's not even close.
You're about to say in the world then, weren't you?
No.
The world.
Better than Real Madrid. Better than AC Milan. Better than Man City. No, honestly, 5 million for Amiri is thievery. I don't have no idea. He must be in the last year of his contract. I don't know his contract details.
I was just checking that.
But it must be a fee agreed and then a new contract signed. Because
it's got to be, hasn't it?
Has to be.
Oh, mate, listen to this.
He's a Premier League quality player. He could play and do well for a mid-table side in the Premier League.
Just on the pro details, initial payment for Piroe understood to be 10.5, potentially rising to 16.
Okay.
A good deal for Swansea too, given his contractual. Yeah, because he had a year left, didn't he?
Right. They had to sell him or lose him for nothing.
I think Leeds were just on that. Leeds were just on that thing of, look, we just have to get him no matter what. We'll just go and get him, pay the money, because that could have dragged on.
It's not even that much money. How much did we pay for Pat Bamford in the championship?
7.
So I guess it is a lot of money, but for some reason I thought it was like 15. I remember wrong. I remembered wrong.
No, 7 mil, I think. But yeah, 16 mil. That is I think they've just turned around and gone, look, we need him. Well, because they'll have been terrified as well of a PR nightmare of Southampton swooping in as well.
And blowing them out of the water. Honestly, just the backlash of going through an aggressive window without aggressive signings. I joked earlier on Twitter. I said Wayne Minnie's either going to be wearing 49ers kit all season or burning it in his garden, depending on what happens in the next 24 to 48 hours. Listen, I'm telling you, what I like most about the Amiri and Piroe signings, these are guys that can play at the next level. There are going to be guys that we bring in this season, like Byram, right? Who's good at this level, but maybe some real question marks as to what he can do at the next level, particularly at left back. But I'm telling you, Amiri and Piroe, Sinistera, Nanto, and Somerville, these are players we could keep.
Yeah, I think the cover as well, if we're thinking about it.
I'm going to stay at disarray. Like, what the heck?
The thing about you, so you look, I was about to call him Cineville. I quite like that name, Cineville.
You're now having the stroke, not me.
Somerville, Nanto, Piroe, Sinistera.
Holy God. Are you really going to sign this player?
Then the cover, you've got cover of Rutter, Bamford, James. And then obviously you got Amiri in there, potentially Paintsil as well.
I'm not the only one doing this. Hey, shout out to Ellie May on LUFC on Twitter today. It says, it's out with the old and in with the new. Good bright clouds of gray. Hello, skies of blue. It's just a picture of Aronson next to Piroe.
Yeah, guys, there's 2,000 of you in the building. Please make sure that you're slapping a like on here for Yo Piroe and Amiri, and obviously the content. Don't forget Rutter. We didn't. Leeds House, he was in there.
Do you know what it feels like, Connor? Let me interrupt you for a minute. You know what this feels like? Do you remember that really depressing Will Smith film based on the true story Pursuit of Happiness?
Yeah.
He's like in poverty and at the end, finally something good happens for him. And he just does the clap. And that's how I feel right now. The last 3 seasons have been crap as a Leeds fan. And no guarantees. A lot of football to play. Lots can happen.
Yeah.
It feels good to finally win one, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's interesting. Have you seen any of the I think it's an English. I think it's from Sky, to be fair. So I don't know if you've seen it, but they've done something on Burnley. It's like a 4-part series. Well, a series. It's like a what were you laughing at?
I'm not watching a 4-part series on Burnley on Sky from America.
No, but the point is it's the rebuild. So it's the whole rebuild process, and then bringing in 16 players, adapting to companies' ways and methods. And it's so interesting how company was just all about depth, quality, and depth, and getting essentially 2 players for every single position. They were in a horrible state. I didn't realize how bad that was. But you do look at even their front line in comparison to Leeds is, and if Leeds are able to adapt to this Daniel Farke system, which I think we have done, I think the big takeaway is, when you look at West Brom and their caliber of squad in comparison to our caliber of squad the other night, let's not even compare that, because we just had such a terrible squad out the other night in terms of an offensive line. We were still able to pick up a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think if you've got like a fully developed squad at Leeds United, and you're bringing in all those profiles by the end of the window, I'll honestly come out and say we have got a chance of of course we've got a chance of top 2. Of course we have. That's the whole point, though, isn't it? It's like you bring these profiles in, and then you can challenge that top 2.
I still can't believe I sound like this is the first time I've literally just had nothing to offer. Piroe and Amiri in the same 48-hour window, 24-hour window. This isn't what happens to Leeds United. We're not used to this kind of
we're not
business. And you know what, Rick? If we do get promoted, I will get a mullet. Fine. I'm happy with that.
It looks like you kind of got a mullet already.
There's no hair back there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but I can imagine it.
What do you think a mullet is?
I think it's that exact same front part. We just and it could be
just a parting in the back.
It could be back there. Yoel Piroe is off to work. We go. Yeah, Piroe is a very rhymeable name, so that's good for.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna get brilliant songs.
There's a Christmas one that I found. Do you want to hear it? And I put in the.
Not particularly, but go on.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Does it mean you're gonna sing?
I can sing. I was actually Danny Zuko in Takasagama's production of Grease. I'll have you know.
So Danny Zuko with a Yorkshire accent has to be the most hideous thing in the world.
So last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to Yoel Piroe. Not having that one.
It's literally just the song with his name in it.
Yeah, but so what? It's nice, isn't it? Well, did you want actual rhyming couplets there?
I would prefer a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, so when you were Danny Zuko, you said "Summer Lovin' had me a blast."
Mm-hmm.
Say it in your accent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what an American accent, Gabe. I don't just say it like a Yorkshire bumpkin, mate.
but how would a Yorkshire bumpkin say "Summer Lovin' had me a blast"?
What do you mean?
That's the lyric. Go on.
Yeah, I know it is. Just mate, you teach me the lyrics. I was a
15-year-old. Everyone in the chat, why is he afraid to say it? Why won't Connor say "Summer Lovin' had me a blast"? What's he trying to hide?
It is that too American accent, honestly.
I don't believe that you can do it.
Did you not?
I'm sure. No.
I'll send you some pictures, mate.
What I do believe is that you did it as Yorkie as possible.
Right, let's get back onto football. Carlos,
all right, yeah.
Carlos isn't happy with the Greece chat.
I'm not happy with the Greece chat. Let's
Shut up, weirdos. So yeah, it's going to be. I think the positive thing is, Gabe, we were going into this weekend really naturally, probably still are, a little bit worried about Ipswich. The whole Willie Gnonto situation was smothering us all, really. And now you're going into that weekend, and it's not only, you're not thinking to yourself, maybe Piroe will play, or Amiri, if it does get sorted, will play, because they're probably not going to be registered in time. But it gives you that fresh hope, doesn't it? It gives you a nice feeling going into it.
Yeah. I don't actually mean this. I'm just delirious because I'm happy, and I don't know what happiness feels like normally. I'm almost to the point where I doubt these guys are going to play at Ipswich, right? So because Farke has specific fitness requirements, they're not going to come in and be the level of fitness he wants, even if they're playing all the time. It's just he's that kind of manager, right? He's going to integrate them. Maybe he'll start them. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're not seeing those guys on the pitch on Saturday. I could care less about the result. I know it sounds really, I don't literally not care about it, but part of me feels like I don't care about the result because after that, the week after that, Khaleesi is coming to Westeros. We are going to burn this division down.
That's the nerdiest comment I've ever heard. That's nerdier than Mike Reed's comment. Game of Thrones was the most
popular show in the world for a while. What are you on about?
You thought that was a really cool reference, didn't you? You gave it a bit of oomph when you said that.
I stand behind it. I hope we go Mad King on the entire division. We burn it down.
We burn down the entire division. We kill everyone.
If you're any team in this division, I'm the cringe king today. I don't care. Listen, I feel happy. I'm not going to let reason and critical thinking get me down. Thank you, Robbie. I appreciate it. We have one. I mean, but listen though, if you're a defender, a midfielder, whatever, and you're looking at Leeds as front four in that 4-2-3-1, I mean,
yeah,
you're not feeling good about your life, are you? And finally, teams might fear us.
I just thought that's the best one, yeah.
This is just proof that I have no idea how to act when I'm happy. I don't even know how to think. My brain doesn't even work.
Just be cynical, mate.
And I'm 5 hours behind all of you in the UK. It's still light outside here. I don't have the excuse.
Yeah, that is true.
Delirious.
If we get promoted,
what do you guys think a French crawfish is?
If we get promoted,
it's never going to leave me alone. 30% of the comments we get at all points in the stream are about my haircut, and it's just I'm a meme now. That's essentially what's happened. I've become a meme. It's fine.
What was this? I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Oh whoa. Oh whoa. Oh, Ruts around Joe Piroe. You having that one?
Oh, I'm not having any Rutters in there. Are we just saying the bench player and Joe? No,
Jesus.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Listen, I have higher standards for chants and songs. So.
Oh yeah. Do you reckon you could create a few songs, Gabe?
Yeah, I do.
Right. Fair enough.
But we've already made these people want to kill us anyway, so let's not go there.
As long as it hasn't got fight and win in it. Phil Hay tweets, Amiri fee agreed for 5 million. Yep, 100%. Here we go. Oh, okay, here we're going on to yeah. God, I keep thinking this means that Fabrizio Romano's tweeted out, but it's clearly a song people are still singing.
This musical edition of this musical edition. Channel. Connor's going to put on his Danny Zuko leather jacket.
Yeah, still got it, mate. Don't you worry. The T-Bird. LUFC Lewis. Somerville striking Piroe. Yeah, that was a good one, Lou, to be fair. What do you reckon to that?
What, just Somerville striking
Oh,
Piroe
my
like
God.
that?
Why are you being such a miserable gig?
I'm asking a question.
What do you mean?
What was that tacked on the end of? I didn't hear the first part. You just said the names.
Well, you can read this, can't you? Somerville stroking Piroe. That's just the song I was doing beforehand.
What song were you doing before?
I'm not singing again, Gabe. I'm sick of singing. Christ, people need to pay for this stuff. Worse than Eurovision. I'm happy to be in that conversation. To be honest, we're absolutely waffling now. Have you got anything else to say about Joel Piroe?
No, he's the best striker in the division. There's no guarantee. I'm going to try to be a critical thinker here, despite the delirium, almost opiate-like feeling of being happy that I'm so not used to. There's no guarantee that it's going to click right
face.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Well, there's a barber in the channel now offering to sort my head haircut.
Oh no, hold on. I understand why you won't get this.
What?
Guaranteed you've never heard of Status Quo, have you? You don't even know the song, do you?
Status Quo? No. Who's it by?
No, okay. See, if you'd have said that at the start, I wouldn't have continued to sing like
You didn't say what you were saying. Connor and I are going to be fighting about singing over those. Listen, no, just back on Piroe. We've talked about him enough, right? I mean, but the reality is, I want Leeds fans to understand this. Every player, no matter how good they are, sometimes there's a betting in period. He is the best striker in the division right now. And stop putting these comments. People are not paying to abuse my haircut. This is amazing.
Let's get off. Cheers for that, jab. Let's get off Gabe's hair for a second. Anyway,
I don't think I didn't catch your stream earlier, Connor, where you were absolutely rinsing me, saying that we're gonna just donations to go to fly me to Grimsby to get my haircut there, and we'd film it. Just the most unhinged content today.
Let's do a little vlog.
No, I'm delighted by this, and I'll be over the moon if the Amiri links are genuine. I know Phil tweeted it out, right? So it seems like it's a go, but until I said the same thing with Piroe, until I see him with the shirt. That's why when I saw it come from the Leeds United official channel, I was like, oh my God, this is real. I kind of feel that way about Amiri and any other signing. But if we bring both of these guys in 48 hours or 24 hours, good Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tremendous. Good. I would think you would have to look at the other teams and say they haven't done as good a business as we have, because we've gotten rid of all the players, given the contract situation that they've had. And we have to look at this, at least for this window until we hit January, and say about the 49ers, they did what they said they were going to do and then some.
Yeah, and I think as well, I mentioned it on the show previously, keeping Sinister is just going to be monumental. It's going to be
unbelievable. Yep.
Jason says we need another phone-in, Gabe. Piroe to score more goals than Haaland this season. Oh, I remember the little phone-ins you did. They were actually really nice.
Yeah, we should do another phone-in. We should do a phone-in. We'll think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we will. We'll 100% will. Right. Well, I think we've waffled up. This was only supposed to be 15 minutes. 30 minutes about hair, 15 minutes about your Piroe. Love this show, Phil. Thanks so much, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. Make sure you check out the video from earlier.
Today.
Well, you said it. But Leeds have signed Piroe, and it looks like we've agreed a $5 million fee for Amiri. Guys, we're going to have more videos throughout the week. Really appreciate you stopping by this evening, and we will see you in a bit. Cheers.